Oh. Okay. Caller, you're on the air.
Hello. I love this channel with all my lasagna eating heart. I was wondering if you could help me with a work decision, specifically a college work decision. So,
Oh, wow.
I am going to need a job when I go to college this fall, and I was wondering if I should work on campus or off campus. If I were to work on campus, I'd be a tour guide, but if I work off campus, I'd have to really kind of look, and against all odds, I'd probably work at Walmart, which I'm kind of like not super psyched about, but I could find a cool job. Anyways.
All right, well, go ahead and take a look at the television set. I'm kind of feeling like this might be more of a Garf casting inquiry. So it sounds like, do you want to do the work? Do you want to do an on-campus job? So doing tours, or will you be at Walmart? What's the better decision? Well, or is there another cool job out there? Let's find out. Okay. Off to a good start. This is the outdoorsman, Garf. He's coming right at you. I was a little worried he might be facing this way, which would tell me, oh, neither opportunity, neither place, you're not open to any ideas. Okay. Outdoorsman Garfield. He's facing you, coming right at the television set. He's open to opportunity. He's putting himself out there. I think that's already evident by you working while in college. That's a lot. You know, some folks might say, well, college, the classes are your job. Getting good grades, making friends and memories. Not all of us are that lucky, though, that we can just focus on that, and sometimes supplemental income is important, and working at the same time. I'm glad you're open to that. And the outdoorsman Garf here is showing me that you do have opportunities, and I'm kind of getting a very obvious reading here, but it's the outdoorsman Garf. Outside, outdoors. And you're talking about potentially doing some tours. Generally, college tour guides, they will show folks around campus, tell them where the quad is, you know, the dining hall, right? So you're outside, you're going on tours. You're going to really learn the lay of the land of your college, should you do that. The other thing it's showing me is that Protection Garfield is up and Leap of Faith Garfield is down. So Leap of Faith Garfield might be the interpretation that some other opportunity might come, you mentioned, or going to the Walmart, right? Perhaps you're not as really open to that as maybe you are sticking with the on-campus job. All of these jobs, whatever they may be, you're going to college, right? And that's working towards something in the future. And skating towards, there's our skating Protection Garfield with that, going towards something that's going to be more long-term in the future. So keep in mind that what you're doing now is temporary, not something you have to, don't feel like you need to overthink every career decision now. Whatever you do is just going to end up as a resume point when you're printing out your resume on your dot matrix printer and walking it up to the business you apply to and say, here's my resume. I want to work here, right? Because that's how that works. So Protection Garfield's up. Just by the orientation of these, the outdoorsman Garfield facing you, a little bit separated from leap of faith Garfield and protection Garfield. It sounds like perhaps going with the first opportunity that's outdoors, perhaps because it's a tour, might be a good option. However, maybe it's just because you're trying to play it safe, right? You'd be working for the university you're already going to, playing it safe. But leap of faith Garfield may one day change orientation, be face up, when you are ready for that opportunity that comes your way. So it's not a yes or no which one you should do. Just considering something that might be a little more inside your wheelhouse, a little more protective, a little more on campus, you know. And that's of course always something to consider. Oops. Because this is our skating Garfield. You know, do you have the transportation to get to this other opportunity, this Walmart, etc.? Is it public transportation? I don't know. I don't know the situation, but just something to consider. Okay. I hope that answers it somewhat. Either way, good on you. Good on you for getting your education, trying new things, and being open to opportunities. Okay. Oh, we've got another caller. Yeah, call, you're on the air.
Hello?
Mm-hmm. Hi.
Yes. I'm calling in today to ask you and the cards, really, it's the cards, whether or not I should let go and forget about aunt number 614 from my aunt farm, who ran away a couple of weeks ago, or if I should hang on to her spiritually and emotionally and wait for her to come back to the nest I built. Aunt number 614, yes.
Wow. Well, go ahead and take a look at the television set. Thank you for your call. Aunt 614. Let me give these a quick shuffle here. And actually, we're talking about missing ants here, so I need a good shuffle mix up. Okay. It's not every day that a beloved ant goes missing, and I know while small, they can have a big heart and impact on you. I don't know this aunt that you have personally, but it sounds like they've really made an impact in your life. So, should you let this aunt go? Okay. Okay. Well, we've got a reverse Cap'n Cat, and it's right in the middle. So this is a little tricky. I'm seeing magic, masked mutt. We've got an Odie, 2 Garfields, and I think if you're talking about wanting to either move on from your missing aunt or wait for it to come back, Captain Cat says let it move on. Now, I don't know the circumstances in which this aunt left the colony, ant farm, whatever it may be, but in the reversed orientation here, I think they left to go on some uncharted territories. We've got the Garfield here with his peg leg sword and his hat, and he is pointing off into the distance. Had it been facing you and not in the reverse orientation, I say maybe, maybe that's you that needs to go off into that journey to find your missing aunt number 612, right? And then what I think you should consider, though, is that perhaps if you spiritually let go of this aunt, it might just find its way back with magic. I'm not saying you do the magic. I'm not saying it's necessarily magical thinking, but it could be a situation where, I don't know, maybe a month down the road, this aunt just shows up again after going on this, the aunt's adventure, right? Having to do some exploring. And then masked mutt over here, I think that can be interpreted more so for aunt number 612. Again, maybe this aunt wasn't living its life as authentically as it wanted to within the confines of the ant colony, or it didn't want to be aunt number 612. I don't know. And it was looking for a new identity. And so it has since decided to leave, go on a journey, set a sail to explore and find its true identity, what it really means to be an ant, right? Magic Cat, though, Magic Cat says, hey, you don't have to totally give up on this ant spiritually. It can be there in your heart and thoughts, and perhaps one day it'll just show back up. So the answer is yes and no. I hope that helps. All right, we've got another call. Hi, caller, you're on the air.
I've got some very important academic results coming recently, and I just want a reading onto whether these are seemingly good or bad results, and whether it should mean that I should move out for my academics and venture into new prospects, or stay at home within a local setting that I'm more familiar with.
Okay. We'll go ahead and take a look at the television screen there. I think this might be another job for the casting. So academic results, staying home, staying comfortable or not, venturing out, what to do. All right. Oh. Well, this is new. Wow. You've got your Garfield of protection. Cat knee pads on his cat knees, facing up, but not exactly towards you. So, if this was coming right at you, I'd say, wow, you really don't want to have a big change. You want to stay right at home. However, over here, in its own stacked orientation, which is almost unheard of, there is the Garfield Outdoorsman facing to your right, and on top of the Garfield Outdoorsman, you have the Leap of Faith. You know, sometimes I think there's a lot more to read in these castings of tarot cards, but sometimes the answer is just really obvious, and I don't think I need to tell you what the answer is. If you've got your Outdoorsman Garf facing right, that's the direction of movement and progress, and you have the Leap of Faith on top of the Outdoorsman. Sounds like you're open to a lot of opportunities, and you've kind of cast your safety, protection, and concerns to the wind. Keep in mind, even if you do pursue something that's away from home, you can always come back. No one says you can't. Or even if you stay home, doesn't mean that you don't have to, doesn't mean you can't ever venture out and leave the safety of your current environment, friends, family, town, all of the above, another time. So whatever decision you do make, just know that it doesn't have to be the end of the decision that you do make once you do make that decision, if that makes sense for you, right? But yeah, stacked Garf, outdoorsman, with the leap of faith on top, facing up, both facing in the right direction, and protection Garfield off to the side. Wow. All right, I think we have time for another caller here. Yep, okay. All right, caller, you're on the air.
This is Zoe from Clifton, Colorado, mother of 2 fur babies, Huckleberry Finn and Uma Perman, and I would just love the opportunity for a tarot reading from the lasagna-loving Garfield. God bless.
Oh, okay. All right, Zoe, go ahead and take a look at the screen here. The first thing I'm going to need to do is to clear the air and energy that is given off by a dog barking sound. Now, when it comes to doing Garfield readings, it's very important that there are no dogs present, nor dog barking sounds. So, excuse me while I go get some lasagna to clear the air. Okay. Now that we've cleared out the energy of the dog barking, let's do your reading here. And it didn't sound like you had a particular question or anything you needed guidance on. So we'll just keep this a little more general. A little past, present, future, you know, a little 3 card. All right. Present, future. Wow. Okay. So this is the first reading where everything has been in a reverse orientation. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's also the first one where we've seen Pookie. And Pookie is the Betty Bear here. And it's a sign of comfort, peace, and tranquility. And that's what's coming for you in your future. I'm going over to the past here, and we've got the Cap and Cat. It's reversed. Cap and Cat here is, in this orientation, being a reading for you, showing me where there was maybe a period of a lot of structure, rules, a lot of barking orders, if you will, such as a pirate captain would, right? And now that has since changed. And perhaps you're in a new direction where it's a little more free-flowing, a little more peaceful, leading you to Betty Bear, leading you to your Pookie in life, right? So peace, tranquility, and I guess no more of the, again, barking leadership rules, the stringent day-to-day. But right now, things are a little wild. The wildcat being in the reverse orientation here does show me that there is a move to more peace and tranquility from, if it was facing you, things that were feeling a little more wild in your personal life, perhaps. And so having the wildcat, again, the attitude of two intense Garfs in your reading, but then leading to what will be more peace, tranquility, just really the coziness that is Pookie and Betty Bear. So, good things coming your way, Zoe. Good things coming your way. All right. Well, I think that's all the time we have now. Thank you so much for tuning in to Public Access 12. I will be back here taking your calls. And again, find me this Tuesday at the Circus Reno underneath the clown entrance. All right. Thank you so much.